All right, we are back now in our studio kitchen with registered dietitian Kirby Moir, who is giving us some great ideas for our heart health, talking about heart health during this heart month. Important topic.
Yes, and I think the big message when I'm here, I normally try to share, it's what can we add to our diet that really is going to help support that heart health. It's kind of what our next tips are focused around.
So you're not taking anything away?
Well, we might work on that. There might be some swaps, but
that's another segment.
Yes, exactly.
But really making these healthy choices can make such a difference, and we're still getting those foods we love.
Yes, and I think what happens, we go and maybe we hear about our heart health, we get labs, and then it's like, okay, I know I need to work on them, but again, what's that action item? So we talked about some of those nutrients in that first segment. The second thing to think about are the types of fat and then fiber.
Okay.
So we really want to remember those as our key messages for heart health support. Fiber, everyone's like, I know it's good for me, but what is fiber?
What does fiber look like?
It's non-digestible parts of plants.
Okay.
So fruits, vegetables, and whole grains. I know it's tempting sometimes, we see fiber on foods and items, but the best places we can get it are from those whole food forms, especially when we're eating the peel, or whole grains have some more intact fiber. So that's why dietitians, we're always talking about eat more whole grains. It's because of that fiber focus.
I feel like these are the things that we think about when we think about fiber. I always think about things like our oats. Yes, yeah. Our oats are important, and then you have something like this that we can add as well.
Rice, of course, lentils. Beans. I should have put my beans out here.
I know.
Beans up there earlier.
A missed opportunity to share your beans.
Lentils too, if you're not familiar with making them in a traditional way. We also have like lentil alternatives like pastas. Those are going to be some great ways for you to take a familiar food and swap up for a little nutrient boost with that. And then of course, fruits and vegetables, cannot get enough. Raspberries, apples, potatoes. Those are all really rich sources of fiber. So focusing on increasing those.
And then we want to eat our peel.
Yes,
for
eating the peel. Yeah, that's beneficial. Same thing with the potato. So it's not saying that fruits and vegetables that we don't eat the peel aren't going to contain some fiber, but these are going to be our richer sources. Berries, things like that especially.
Okay, and then moving on from fat, or from fiber to fat.
Yes, and this is a bit confusing because for heart health we say fats that are liquid at room temperature.
Okay.
Right? And so this is kind of sad for my bacon lovers, you know. When we cook bacon and we leave it out for a while. I know. But anything that you know, from like butter and things like that, not saying we cannot use those at all in our cooking, but predominantly plant-based oils are going to be anti-inflammatory, which is great. These are also going to help kind of prevent the buildup of plaques in our arteries, which is that major risk factor for heart disease. Other sources are going to be plant-based options like nuts. Walnuts are a fantastic choice. Seeds like chia seeds, and then omega-3 fatty acids are one of the best essential fatty acids to support heart health. You can find that in fatty fish like salmon. Walnuts are one of the best plant-based sources of that omega-3 as well. So if you're doing anything this month, I encourage you to try to figure out how to add some walnuts into your diet. You mentioned oatmeal. That is a really good heart smart start. Adding a few tablespoons of walnuts into your rolled oats in the morning, topping it off with some fruit, you are well on your way to an easy heart healthy meal.
And I feel like that's something we can do, right? I mean, oatmeal, I think we're all pretty good at putting together a good oatmeal, and like you said, find ways to add these nuts into your diet.
Yeah, quick little
trail
snack.
Mix
I love that. Yeah, trail mix, something easy, simple on your salad, but you only need a few tablespoons about 3 to 4 times a week. But those little things supporting the nutrients that are going to support, or adding the nutrients that are going to support our heart health, focus on what we can add. That's really the thing I would recommend this month.
All right, and if you're used to cooking with butter, maybe swap out, try some of that olive oil instead.
Avocado oils, yes, great options for us to kind of try to balance that out a bit.
All right, well, certainly some important information, some great information. Kirby, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
Don't forget, as she mentioned, if you want to learn more about their Pick Well program and all the labeling, it makes it so easy throughout the stores. You can visit their website. Of course, that's just foodcity.com. We'll be right back.